Hello and welcome to the walkthrough for importing a Blackboard course into Schoology. Prior to going through the walkthrough, I do want to review a few considerations for you to take into account when you're doing this import. First of all, when you are importing materials into Schoology, there will be some formatting issues. This is more common for classes that have special characters, but you might notice that your spacing is a little bit off as well. So you might have to go in and add spaces between words. And if you have special characters for math or for world languages, you might have to fix those too. So it's not a one and done and you're completely ready to go. You do have to preview your course as well to make sure the formatting's right. The next consideration is that while these two programs will talk to each other through this export process, the layout will be different. So if you're looking at your Blackboard course and you like the way it's laid out, when you import it, it might not show up the same way in Schoology because they have different options within it. So Blackboard has modules and Schoology has pages. So these things don't necessarily talk that well. So some things that you have in Blackboard, you might want to try to use a different tool that is available in Schoology that wasn't available in Blackboard. So just doing that mass copy might involve some deleting of the materials because you might want to use those additional tools that are available in Schoology that aren't available in Blackboard. And finally, and this is just best practices, your standards for your discipline might have changed. So if you're doing a mass copy from an older course that you might not have taught in a couple years but you might teach next year, you might have to go back and revamp things because of changed standards as well. These are just considerations for you to think of. It doesn't hurt anything to copy an entire course over into Schoology, see what you like about it, and delete it. It's a very simple process. What you put into Schoology does not have to stay in there. So we are going to start in Blackboard to start this process. Scroll down until you see Packages and Utilities, click on it, and then select Export Archive Course. From here, you will click Export Package. Right here, you'll keep these two as they are, copy links and include copies, and then copy links and include copies as well. Here is where you can either select the entire course by clicking Select All, or you can pick and choose. So if you know that you only want to have your tests copied over, and your test banks and your survey banks and your pools, you can just click that and then just copy that over. You don't have to copy everything over. However, if you want to copy all of your content areas, you want everything over, you can do that by clicking Select All. So once you do that and everything's copied out or everything's selected, click on Submit. Now you will get this message saying that the action has been queued and an email will be sent when the process is complete. This process might take a few minutes, and if there's a lot of people doing it, it might take longer. So once you get the email, you'll be able to continue with the export. For reference, this is what the email looks like. It tells you the course that you exported, and it shows you where to download it. So now that I have the email that shows that it's done, I can go back to Blackboard and click Refresh. And here's the export file. Click on the little drop-down menu, and then select Open. And then the zip file, click on Show in Folder. Unless you have your downloads going to somewhere else, it will pop into your downloads folder. And then you can right-click on your folder right down here, and then you can open up a new folder. I would suggest saving it on your H drive because if you do that, you will always have it and you don't have to worry about losing it when your computer gets reimaged. So all you do is you hold that, click, and then drag it over. Now that the file is somewhere secure, which is in your H drive, we can go back to Schoology, and then we can click on Resources, and then from here, we click on this little arrow, and then we select Import. And we want to import a new collection, and we're importing from Blackboard. Select Next, and you do also have to name it. Once you name it, click Next. And then you have to attach your file. So click Attach File, and then navigate to where it's saved. So I have it saved right here. Double click it, and it is uploading right now. Depending on the size, it might take a few seconds for it to load, but once you're done, you click Import. And now you'll see that we have Blended Learning for a Transforming Classroom right here. If you click on it and it initially does not populate, it might just be taking its time, so click on Home and then click on it again. So you can now see that I have all of my items from my original course from Blackboard right here. And then to get this into a course, select the course that you want to put it in. Click on Materials. And then Add Materials, Import from Resources. And from here, you can import everything. You can import just specific folders. You can be as specific as you want. So I'm going to import everything. And then it's asking me again. So yes, import. And now I have all of my course information from the Blackboard course now in my Sandbox course, which we could pretend is an actual course that students would be accessing. Now, what I had said before about things not necessarily showing the exact same way, I do want to point that out. If I click on Course Instructor Info, click here, it has these all as individual pages. Whereas within Blackboard, it's all right here. They can scroll and see all the information. Here, they actually have to go through and click Next to see the information. And you can see that my instructor contact info did not even transfer over. But right here, to see all that information that is on one page in Blackboard, it separates it out into separate pages in Schoology. So that's just something to consider. If you want it all in one page, you would have to do some rearranging. I did find that if you import modules from Blackboard, those do show up pretty well within Schoology. So if I click here, this was a module page in Blackboard, and you can see that it has all the assignments listed here. So like I said, a lot of this is that you just need to play around with it and look, and if you don't want to keep this stuff in here, you can always go back to resources, and you could delete this whole resource. So if you don't want the resource anymore, you could always delete it. Though it is important to note that once you import it into a course, it lives in that course, so even if you delete it from the resources, it will still be in that course, so you would have to delete it from the course as well. If you have any questions about this, please contact me and Sarah, and we can help you work through this process and determine what you may or may not want to include in your new Schoology course.